frequency. About that, doctor. The subject can't undergo any more trials. Her voice cracked. My chest tightened instantly. What? Why? The subject. Self-combusted, sir. The moment the syndrome reappeared in their body, My breath caught in my throat. No, not her too. This can't be. I lost her too? This is too much. I can't do this anymore. We need to find a solution, fast. Doctor, please, calm down. I know she meant a lot to you, but all is not lost yet. As the tightness in my chest grew into pain and my eyes failed to hold back the tears, my mind drifted back to the very first words she said when she walked into the facility. Doctor, I'm so happy it's you treating me today. Do you remember when I was a little kid and you used to come by our house? You'd come up with all those funny stories that always cheered us up? Back then, the world still felt somewhat magical, you know? I think I've been chasing the feeling of those moments ever since. Lately, everything started feeling too quiet, too perfect, but in a strange way. People smile, but it feels empty, as if on the inside they're actually not. I don't know, maybe I'm just being sentimental before trials. Still, if anyone can figure this out, it's you, isn't it? Oh, and promise me one thing, okay? If this works, come by our home again, like you used to. Bring us more of those stories, the ones that made dreaming feel joyful again. My brother, he always loved them back then too. Gah! Remy sat up with a gasp. He rubbed his forehead, wincing. His pajama was soaked with sweat. Damn, these nightmares are getting worse. It's so dark. What even is the time? Gosh darn it, it's the middle of the night again. I guess I'll go drink some milk or eat something. All this exam stress must have gotten to me. Or maybe I'm just worried about Dad and Mom being overseas. Chapter 2. Early mornings should be illegal. Snoring echoed from behind the bedroom door. Knock, knock. No response. The snoring only grew louder, as if defiantly doubling down. Knock, knock, knock. Still nothing. Until... Bomb. The door jolted in its frame as a precise, no-nonsense kick landed square on the bottom panel. Standing in the hallway, wearing a tight girly blue shirt, light pink shorts, and a white apron loosely tied around her waist, the elf let out a loud sigh. I can't believe he's still asleep after that. In one hand she held a plate, golden omelet, buttered toast, and a neat scoop of jam, glistening like it had been made with the loving care of an overbearing big sister. In the other, a steaming cup of tea. Wake up, sunshine, she shouted. A growing boy needs his strength, especially if he plans on surviving the physical part of the entrance exam. Remy shot upright with a gasp. No! The lizard men! They're bombarding the house! He screamed, tangled in his sheets like they were trying to strangle him. The defenses are down. Evacuate the fridge. Eyes wide and unfocused. Then he looked around the room, blinking at the familiar walls, the posters, the cyber-enhanced robo-toys, the slightly cracked mana screen on the desk, and the very much unexploded ceiling. Wait, I'm alive? He muttered, rubbing his face. Was it just a dream, or a premonition? From the hallway, Serena's voice cut through the silence like a mana blade. You got 10 seconds before I personally wake you up. Remy groaned, flopping back onto the pillow like a defeated general. It's too early for life. Just let the lizard men win. She set the plate and tea down on the kitchen table with a sharper-than-necessary clatter, her lips and eyes pressed into thin lines. Ungrateful little gremlin. I'm even babying him, and he won't put in the slightest effort. Without another word, she walked back down the hall to his bedroom, grabbed him by the head like a misbehaving pup, and dragged him straight into the yard. Well, hey, wait, I'm awake, I'm awake! Too late, she was filled with rage and didn't hear poor Remy's cries for help. Splash! She dunked his face into a wooden bucket of cold water, freshly drawn from the fountain outside. Remy flailed, mumbling with his head still dunked in the bucket. Okay, I'm up, I'm awake. This is child abuse. Serena let go and stood with the bucket in hand, waiting a moment as the boy coughed and sputtered, trying to gather his senses. Why are you so violent all of a sudden? He asked, water still dripping from the tips of his hair. She held out a towel, tilting her head slightly to the side, like she was holding back her irritation, fully aware that this was already wasting more time. Here, dry yourself off, and let's have breakfast. We're already late for training. At the table, sitting slightly slouched in his chair, Remy ate quietly, still damp despite the towel draped over his shoulders. Across from him, Serena watched in silence, her usual sharp expression softened, eyes carrying a slight hint of guilt. She cleared her throat. Hey, Listen, I get it. You need motivation. Her voice was calm, less commanding this time. Let's make a deal. If you follow my program and put in some real effort, I'll give you some time off every now and then, to do whatever you like. With a soft, understanding smile, she asked. Also, I see that you really love your games, don't you? Remy paused mid-chew, looking up like he wasn't sure if he'd heard that right. I've been quite the gamer too. The Lizard Invaders series. So many fond memories. Those were my favorite games growing up. Remy nearly choked on his omelet, his eyes lit up like mana crystals. No way. This crazy-ass self is actually kinda cool. She played games, and she played Lizard Invaders. Am I still dreaming? Right then, Serena leaned in a little, almost conspiratorial. Hey, have you heard of World of Cybercraft? Remy lit up instantly, swallowing his bite in one big glump, blinking twice. You know that game? I love it, but it barely even runs on my mana computer. Serena gave a casual shrug, one eye closed in a playful smirk. Runs fine on my handheld mana screen. They just released a mobile port. I've been playing between classes at the university. Remy's mind flashed back to his shattered mana screen. His expression sank, like his warship sinking in flames during yesterday's final boss fight. Serena crossed her arms and lifted her chin, smug and prideful. She had a plan. Listen up, kid. I'll lend you my spare mana screen, but only if you follow my program to the letter. No slacking, and try to whine less, okay? Remy stood up from the chair, snapping into a mock military stance. Yes, ma'am. Serena stretched her arms slightly while standing up, then grabbed her staff. Time to man you up. We'll start with physical conditioning. Your morning warm-up starts with 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 sit-ups, and a 10-kilometer run, she declared. Remy got visibly panicked and confused. Wait, that's not training, that's an old internet joke. Serena remarked with a witty smirk. A joke that builds core strength and endurance. Remy threw his hands up in total disbelief while protesting. Who even runs 10 kilometers? Serena crossed her arms with a proud pout. It's good for your mana control. When your body hits its limit, you'll have to start reinforcing your movements with mana. That's the whole point. Outside, Remy was dragging himself around the village path, gasping like a fish out of water. My muscles hurt. I can't feel my arms. My abs are killing me. And I've not even passed the first kilometer? His pace had dropped to a desperate shuffle, sweat soaking through his shirt, every step a declaration of suffering. Beside him, Serena floated effortlessly, arms and legs crossed, sitting on her staff like it was the most stable thing in the world. Come on, kid, focus your mana into your legs and body, she called down, not even winded. You'll collapse at this rate. Remy let out a wheeze between steps. Easy for you to say. Your staff's carrying you like a royal princess on her own personal chariot. Serena replied proudly. Manipulating objects and making them fly? That's just one of the basics you unlock once your mana control reaches night level. Then she floated in front of him, mana device in one hand, flashing a peace sign with the other, trying to snap a selfie with Remy panting in the background. Her legs swung slightly, like a kid barely holding back excitement. To her, this was just another fun, everyday stroll. Annoyed, Remy shut his eyes for a moment, blocking out the joyous elf. What did that old monk say in that video? I nearly finished watching it on Magitube. Mana control through meditation, breathwork, internal flow. That stuff always seemed way too boring compared to games and banger songs. He slowed down his pace just enough to focus on his breathing, trying to collect his mana. Inhale, hold, focus. With a slow exhale, he pushed the energy throughout his body. Suddenly, mana started to surge through Remy's limbs. A blue aura flared to life, wild, like a storm barely contained. Whoa, what the heck is happening? His body moved on its own, supercharged with overwhelming mana flow. Within seconds, he blasted forward, zipping past Serena not once, not twice, but 10 times in a blur of blue light straight into splat. The neighbor's pig pen, face first, covered head to toe in mud, pig filth, and possibly worse. Serena blinked, surprised. Whoa, then rushed over, only to freeze mid-step as the wave of stink hit her like a stun spell. She pinched her nose in disgust. Ew. With a flick of her hand, she lifted him by the back of his hoodie using magic, holding him at a distance like a biohazardous rag doll made of filth and fertilizer. Hold still. A blast of water magic hit him first, washing him off in a loud, splashy downpour. Then came a quick burst of fire and wind, drying him off instantly like some industrial-sized magical blow-dryer. Remy was coughing up water as he tried to process what just happened. "You just cast 3 elements back to back," he wheezed, eyes wide. "She's definitely not night level. She must be king level at least." Meanwhile, Serena gently lowered him to the ground, her eyes narrowing as she watched the faint blue sparks still dancing in the air around him. Even archmages with cyber enhancements can't channel that amount of raw mana. This kid is insanely talented, and he has no idea. She was still a little fazed by what just happened, then noticed Remy's hair, curled into a big, shiny puff. She tried resisting the urge but still ended up bursting out laughing. "Wahaha, Remy, your hair, you look like a perfectly polished disco globe with that new hairdo. It might just start growing on me." Remy squinted at her, a frown forming across his forehead. Here I am, thinking she might actually be nice, and she's back to bullying me again. Not like I'm not used to all that. But this feels different, though I don't think she's doing this out of malice. I get that she's paid to do it, but why invest so much care? Going through so much trouble just to wake me up and make me food? Sure, she can be a little violent and spontaneous at moments, but just now, she rushed to help me. Okay, I think I get it now. She must have a screw loose. Back at the house, Remy sat slumped on the bench in the yard, completely drained, head hanging low as he tried to catch his breath. Beside him at arm's length, Serena assumed her usual pose. Legs crossed, arms folded, a lit cigarette resting lazily between her lips. She exhaled slowly, the smoke curling into the afternoon air, eyeing him. "Hey kid, what other surprises are you hiding in that scrawny little body? You really have no idea how much potential you're sitting on, do you?" Remy didn't answer right away, his gaze stayed fixed on the ground. Then finally, in a quiet voice, "Father never batted an eye when I practiced, not even when I brought home perfect scores on tests. So I figured I was just average. Maybe the school was too easy on me in class?" Serena clicked her tongue.